Hi, hooray, welcome. So, today we are going to work with the energy of overflow. So, I've been feeling into how I want to start these money healings with you, and it really feels like the best place is to dive straight into the feeling of overflow. Because, of course, whatever your goals are, your desires are, wherever you're starting from, overflow is a really beautiful energy to just bask in and be present with, because when we are in the energy of overflow, that's what we're calling in, because we are creating our experience in every moment. And spoiler, this is also a really beautiful way to step out of anxiety. If you are someone like me who can have a lot of anxiety, the best thing to do is really draw yourself back into the present moment, because you can't create in the past, you can't create in the future, and all we do when we're kind of straddling the past and the future is making ourselves uneasy, because your soul knows that you are meant to just be fully in this moment, fully in this moment. And of course, that is the place from which we can create. That's the only place from which we can create. So if we're focused on, things we regret in the past or things we're worried about in the future, we're kind of wasting, our power in the present moment. So really, I want to, we'll be channeling this. There will be some energy healing. And some people feel a lot with the energy healing. Some people don't feel anything at all. So if you're not feeling anything, don't worry about it. It's still landing with you in exactly the way you need. That's the beauty of these healings. It will work with you and your energy in this moment in precisely the way that you need. So let's just take a moment and set an intention for this healing and for all the healings that will come, that are to come. Language and speaking, hooray. Let's just set an intention that you receive exactly what you need today to be in the experience of money that would make you the happiest, that would feel the most exciting, that would be the most fun, that would serve you and your life and your family and your work and your joy in the best possible way. So just take a moment and know that that's the truth. Know that what is coming through today and coming through in the future is going to serve you in the best possible way for you right now in this moment. And if you rewatch this healing later, it will work with your energy in a new way, because your energy will be different. So this session, this healing, will work with you differently. So, I think some people will, choose to just engage with these once, watch them when they receive them, and then wait for the next one the next week. I think some people will probably, watch, the video each night, or pieces of the video each night, or each morning, or whenever actually works for you, and then just to help stay in that energy, so that that's really what you're creating, because we are creating from this moment. And so when we're in the energy of abundance and overflow and allowing whatever is triggered to come up, sometimes fear, anxiety, not enough, all of the things that we have as humans in our experience, those can be triggered by these feelings. And so when we step into the energy of overflow and we're really feeling into that, but then something pops up, that's okay. That's perfect. That thing is clearing so that you have more room for that energy of overflow. And then, of course, as you're feeling overflow, as you're putting your attention on overflow, that's what is beginning to create for you. That is what you are creating. That's what the universe is sending you, because that's where you're putting your attention. They say, what grows, where our attention goes is what grows. It's probably something better than that, but that's the basic point. So overflow is going to be our focus for today. So, an overflow, it's a really beautiful energy, because, whatever you're hoping for, whatever you're wanting, and of course, if you would like to set an intention for, a financial intention for this session, for this week, for this month, whatever feels right to you, just take a moment and do that right now. You can pause the video and just feel into, all right, what would I really like to call in and create right now? Whether that's, money for rent, or money for a new home or a massive amount of savings or, just anything that feels good and fun. And of course, we can play with the different energies of overflow, the energy of saving, the energy of stepping out of debt, clearing debt. These are all things that we can play with. And if there's something in particular that you are working on, feel free to reach out to me and let me know, hey, this is something that I'm struggling with, and I can sort of, you know, bring that in as well, depending on, how many people are struggling with the same thing. If we have a common theme, I can, of course, play with those. So feel free to let me know. Okay, so overflow. We are going to start the session by doing a bit of meditation, a bit of breathing. I'll set the circle for us, and then we'll just see what comes through and play with it that way. So, also, before we get started, having water is a really good idea because the energy that comes through these is really powerful, and so it can make you thirsty. And water is great for clearing things out emotionally. So if emotions get triggered, remember, again, if emotions come up, that's great. If fear comes up, if worry comes up, that's perfect because it's coming up to leave. And as it goes, even though feeling it maybe isn't the most fun thing, it is clearing space for the energy that you want, for the experience that you want. So just keep that in mind and know that drinking water will help those emotions, be processed out more easily. And also, the energy coming through these videos will work with your water. So if you have water with you and then you drink it at the end of the session, that will help the session integrate. That will help the energy integrate. And as another note, in case you haven't, done healings with me before, you may be tired after this. You may need to rest. Integration after energy healing is really important. So if your body is telling you to rest, take that cue. If your body, if you feel like you have a lot of energy, funnel it into something that feels good. Do some exercise, do some journaling, create something, whatever feels right. So just really follow your own internal cues, your own internal wisdom. Let your body tell you what it needs, and be sure to give it to yourself after these sessions because they can be powerful. So just take care of yourself in whatever way you need. Okay, let's get started. Okay, yep, we have Archangel Michael drawing the circle for this session. So everybody who will see this and receive this in the future, now and later, if you choose to watch it again, we set the intention that this happen in the highest good, that everything that is not needed or not yours is being cleared now so that you can come to this energy fresh and working only with your own experience, your own beliefs, rather than the experiences, energies, or beliefs of others. That can be a challenge for the sensitive people, which of course you are, when we're creating or manifesting. If we're trying to create from energy that isn't our own or create from beliefs that aren't our own, we can really get ourselves in a bit of a pickle because we want to be creating from our heart, our beliefs, not the energy and beliefs of others. And when you're sensitive, you can kind of absorb those from other people. So right off the bat, we're clearing that out. So Archangel Michael is giving each of us a clearing, removing anything that does not belong to you, does not serve you. So just feel that dropping away. And know that if any energy or emotion rises up that feels uncomfortable or triggers you a little bit, you can just imagine it flowing up and out and being caught by this energy, by Archangel Michael, by your higher self, your guides, the light of source, whatever imagery works for you, however you work, you can imagine just whatever is coming up being taken for you so that you don't have to mess with anything that isn't yours, because that just slows us down. So from this place of clarity, we are going to see what wants to come through. Okay, interesting. So the phrase that's coming through is the heat of love. So we really want to create from love rather than fear. And so when you're in a place of playing with your money, either because you need money, because you want more money, because you would like to shift your overall experience, you would like to really live the life that excites you, that feels joyful to you, we want to be creating from that place of excitement. That's what really starts to get the wheels moving on this creation process, on this receiving process, because of course it's not always about creating. Often it's about receiving. It's about trusting, trusting that what you want and need will come to you, and you don't need to know how. All you need to do is stay in the energy of it and be excited for when it comes, whenever it comes. That excitement is so powerful. It's such a powerful energy. So the heat of love, interesting. So one of the ways that we can shift into this space that is abundant, that will bring in these experiences and this money and this financial overflow, is by thinking of the things that we love, thinking about the things that are going right for us, being grateful. Gratitude is maybe a bit overused, and it can be hard if you're really in a sticky experience. You don't want to try to paper gratitude on top of that. We want to allow those things to come up, and as they clear, gratitude starts to feel easy. It starts to feel natural. But wherever we are, we can always step into something that feels better. And that's often the best way to manifest anything. Simply step into the experience that feels better. So for example, if you're feeling really depressed, then take a moment, breathe, breathe into your belly, breathe into your heart, get some oxygen flowing through your body, and then just ask, what would feel better right now? What feels like a soul sigh of relief in this moment? And that's, if you take a nap and you just go, yes, that's what I need. Take a nap. If watching a new show on Netflix comes up, give yourself that. Reading a book, taking a walk, going for a run, petting your dog, going to work, even if it's Saturday, blowing off work, even if it's Wednesday, whatever feels like a soul sigh of relief, give yourself that, because that will step you out of that depressed energy and into something that feels better. And that is going to be a more powerful place from which to manifest. So, as another example, if you're feeling angry, you have a lot of anger about something, you can step into the flow of that anger and use it to your benefit. All of these things, feelings, emotions, experiences, even the ones that we don't love, the negative ones, the ones we would prefer to just boot over the cliff, we can always use those to our benefit. And so that might be another intention that we set right now. Take a moment and just know that from this moment forward, we're just going to do some magic here. From this moment forward, everything that shows up in your experience, whether it's an unexpected event or a feeling, anything and everything that shows up in your experience is for your benefit, will be used by you for your benefit to bring in what it is that you would like to experience and enjoy and play with. So the example of anger, you can use that anger to propel, the energy of anger is movement. And so when we're angry, we don't necessarily, this can sometimes serve you, you'll know. We can, try to figure out why we're angry and figure out what to do about it. But more often we want to use that energy and let it propel us forward. You can use the energy of anger to clean your house, to, create something, to destroy something. Maybe there's a whole stack of to-do lists that you've been meaning to organize and integrate and renumber so that you can do all the things you've been meaning to do. Just take them to your sink and set them on fire safely. But Amber said Set them on fire. So, but you can use, you can use everything that shows up in your experience, you can use for your benefit. You can use to clear out your space, to bring in more of what you really want, to bring in more joy and excitement and love. And then when we're creating from that place, amazing things happen. So anyway, what was it? The heat of love. That was the phrase that was coming through. So feeling into what you love, feeling into the people you love, the pets you love, the work you love, the places you love, the experiences you love, the movement that you love. Anything that you love is going to be a really beautiful energy to just be in, because that's an expansive, expressive energy. That is your love being made real in the world. And that's what we're doing with this manifesting process, with this creation process. I personally don't love the word manifesting because it feels like it has a lot of stuff attached to it, but choose whatever word really works for you, feels good to you. So we'll start with the energy of love, and then we'll play with the energy of overflow and go from there. Okay, so take a few deep breaths, knowing that you can't miss what is yours, knowing that it is your divine birthright to desire new experiences. That's why we're here. We're here to continue creating. And the way that we continue creating is by desiring something, feeling it here already, because of course it's not about creating the desire in the outer world. It's about feeling the energy of that desire already within you. So if you're looking for a romantic relationship, you feel into, okay, how does it feel to love someone like this, to be loved like this? How would I be acting if I was in the relationship of my dreams? What would I be doing with my days if I'm in the relationship of my dreams? How do I feel? And you do that now. You treat yourself that way now. And that makes all of your very powerful energy begin bringing in that experience. And in the meantime, you're already experiencing it as if it's here. And that is one of the most powerful things we can do. So when we're in the energy of overflow, what does that feel like? And this can be kind of tricky, especially with money, because maybe, you haven't experienced overflow in the way that you're really desiring. And so it's like, well, I don't know what that feels like. So I don't know how to feel that now. But the thing is, you do know how that feels. You actually do. There is such a deep wisdom, a deep soul's knowing, and your soul knows what it's like to be so deeply loved. Your soul knows what it's like to be so wildly abundant. Your soul already knows. So we simply have to tap into the part of yourself that knows, that's already experienced this, and be in that feeling again. So, and this can be subconscious, this can be any way that it works best for you. If any of the ideas that come through these sessions don't work for you, feel into them and see, okay, is there a way that I could shift this so it feels right to me? Or you can just leave it aside completely and, skip to the next piece. So only take what feels right to you. And sometimes, some concepts feel great now and don't feel as good later. Sometimes you come back to something and the thing that didn't work for you a month ago is suddenly like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I need right now. So let your own feelings guide you and your intuition guide you with everything that's coming through. But okay, so what were we doing? We were doing, yes, your soul knowing what overflow feels like. So let's take a moment and tap in with the part of us that already knows what it's like to be wildly abundant, the part of us that knows how it feels to have a bank account that has X number of dollars all the time, no matter what you spend. If you can spend $10,000 in a moment and your bank account is maybe it goes up by $10,000 rather than going down by $10,000. Like there are this idea of overflow. Maybe you have different accounts for, for retirement, for travel, for self-care, for that magical car that you want, whatever it is. Just imagine those accounts fully overflowing. Like, wow, I could buy that car in cash right now and have a solid down payment for the next car I want. Fantastic. Oh, I could take that trip to Iceland tomorrow and have more money that I could possibly need for the trip after that. Just really that whatever overflow means to you. It may mean something much bigger. It may mean something a bit smaller. Whatever overflow feels like for you right now, we can play with, because what we're playing with now, that's not the end of overflow for you. With any luck, you will get to the place where that, what you're thinking of as overflow now just feels normal in 2 months, 2 years, whatever the timeline is. And we all have our own timelines with this, and just trusting our own time is perfect, because, you can't miss what's coming for you. So overflow, whatever that means to you, let's take a moment and breathe. Breathe with overflow. Know that overflow is your birthright. Know that your desires are yours already. You've already created your desires in the ether. We're just waiting to catch up with what we've already created. We're just feeling into the flow of whatever comes through, whether that's the flow of joy or the flow of anger. We are in that flow, and that flow is carrying us to these things that we desire, to these things that we've already created in the ether. Simply by desiring something, simply by wanting something, you have created it for yourself. So the practice now is to continue feeling the excitement of having that thing until it actually lands in your physical reality. So let's say you want to be receiving, and again, I'm just going to pull these out of the air so you can change it to whatever suits you right now. But say you want to be receiving $15,000 a month doing work that you love, that you adore, only working a certain amount of time, a time that feels good to you, and being able to spend the rest of your time in whatever way fills you up and delights your soul. So, and it can be, be like, I don't need that much. I can take a smaller number to start with. Or you're like, actually $15,000 is like pittance, so let's go bigger. Whatever it is perfect. But for the sake of argument, $15,000 a month for doing the work that just delights your soul. Or, you don't even think of it as work. Maybe it's play to you, and this kind of money comes in as you play. So if that feels like overflow, let's just imagine what that is like for a few moments. And as you do that, I will be kind of doing this energy work so that you can really tap into that and set yourself on the course to receiving that, whatever it is. So it's done. $15,000 a month with ease, with joy. You don't even have to think about it. It just shows up. It's just there for living a life that makes you so happy. This is what your experience is. This is what your reality is. How does that feel? How do you live? What are you doing? How are you experiencing life? How are you experiencing your bank account? What are you spending money on? And, if you get to the place where you're like, actually, I've just spent $15,000 pretty easily, you can bump it up to $30,000 a month. Whatever feels like overflow now. What is that energy? How are you feeling? What are you doing with your time? So play with that. Really feel into it. Imagine that space of anything in the world that I want is mine right now. I can have whatever I want, because you can. We can create whatever we want. Whatever you want, somebody's got it. And that person isn't different than you. That person is, maybe doesn't even have the tools that you have. So you're more than capable of having, creating, receiving, enjoying anything that you want. So feel into that. Play with it. How does it feel? How does it look? What does your day look like? How do you feel? What does your life look like? I'm going to stop talking now so you can actually play with this. And I'll be working with the energy to help you along with this. So imagine that every action you take enhances your experience of overflow. So if you take a month off, that enhances your experience of overflow. Suddenly you take a month off and you make double what you did before. How does that feel? Imagine every action you take, whether it's in your own business or by quitting your job and suddenly receiving all this money. Just imagine that there's nothing you can do that is wrong. Everything you do only serves your desires, only serves what it is you're working to create. So there's nothing you can do wrong. And in fact, the better something sounds, the more fun something sounds, the more it's going to bring in for you, the more ease it's going to create for you, the more overflow it's going to create for you. And if at any time during this session or any of the future sessions, a thought pops in like, oh, that's not possible, or I don't believe this for a second, or that might be true for somebody else, but that's not true for me. Any of those limiting beliefs, anything that doesn't feel good, anything that brings up fear or anxiety or worry, right? Just take a moment and write it down. So there are actually a couple ways you can do this. There are many ways you can do this, but this is the way that's coming through. So we'll play with this, and you can play with it as you want. But write it down and then burn it. Apparently I like fire today. Write it down. So you can write it down and burn it, write it down and bury it in your garden. You can, and whatever feels right to you is the thing to do. You can write it down and be like, okay, this isn't the truth. So what is the truth? And check in with that part of your soul that knows what's true, that knows how abundant you are, that knows what a powerful creator you are, that knows how you are so worthy of receiving anything and everything you want, and that receiving what we want isn't even about worth. It's simply about desire. There's no such thing as being worthy or unworthy of what we want, because that's just not even a thing. Worth is not a thing. But if you feel like you're tripping yourself up by feeling like, oh, I don't deserve this, I haven't worked hard enough for this, just write it down. Just note it and be like, oh, I see you. I see you hiding there in my subconscious. All right, let's get you out. This maybe isn't the place for you. I love you. Thank you for serving me so well and for trying to take care of me, but I don't need to believe you anymore. And so you can write what is true, like, I am so worthy of everything I desire. I am so excited to be receiving X. I am, and you can just play with whatever new thought feels better, and then just begin to notice when those thoughts jump in, those limiting thoughts jump in, notice them, and then either, blow them up energetically, or in that moment, reframe the thought, or write it down and burn it. There are so many different ways that we can do this. It's simply about bringing attention to what's been playing in our, in our consciousness, what's been playing in our energy, and being like, oh, okay, you don't actually serve me, so I'm going to rewrite you now. I'm going to blow you up now. I'm going to burn you now. I'm going to clear you out of my space so that I can really tune in with what my soul knows is true, with what my being knows is true, what I've always known is meant to be mine, is supposed to be mine, that I'm excited to experience. Because of course our desires are put in us by, by God, by our higher selves, by your soul, by the universe, because why would you desire something if it wasn't possible for you? There are probably a lot of things that you don't want. I personally have no interest in being the president of anything, but much less like the United States. And it's probably because it's not possible for me and it's not meant for me. I mean, it could be possible for me if I decided to change my mind at some point, then it would become possible for me. But my point is, there are probably a lot of things you don't want, and those aren't your things. They're not for you. But the things that you do want are for you. So we just want to really nurture this fertile ground of your being and your soul so that you can receive those without blowing all your sensors. That's basically what this is about. The universe wants you to get to a place where you can receive what you want without, exploding. So that's why we spend the time and like, okay, I'm already here. I'm already receiving $15,000 a month, just doing whatever the heck I want, or whatever your idea of overflow is. And so when you really bask in that idea, and your homework is going to be basking in that feeling of overflow, basking in that feeling of already having what you want, and just feeling it vibrate through you. Just feeling, because there's going to be an energetic sensation that goes with that. And so when you know what that energetic sensation feels like, you can step back into it anytime you want. And so when you're stepping back into the energetic sensation, the actual physical feeling of $15,000 a month for doing whatever the heck you want, whether it's sitting on a beach or doing a lot of work because you love doing the work, whatever it is, you've already experienced it. You know what it feels like. And so anytime doubts, worries, fears, oh, that can never happen for me, oh, how would I do that? Anytime those pop up, you can just be like, oh, I see you, little belief. I don't need you anymore, but thank you so much, on your way. And then you just step back into that energy, that feeling of already having it. And this is how we shift. We make those subtle daily shifts that sometimes expand into great quantum leaps. Sometimes we can make one small shift that shifts our entire experience. And sometimes it's just a matter of moving through our day, being conscious of what's going on inside, and then just shifting it toward what we want so that our attention is always going on what we want, the feeling of already having what we want, rather than those fears or those those ideas of lack. So I hope all of this makes sense. We're getting to about the end of our time, but I would like to just do a bit more of that basking with you and send some more energy through to really support that. So let's do a bit more of that, and then continuing that throughout the week as much as possible will really help you in this experience of bringing in whatever it is you want. Because what I would really love is to get an email from someone who says, hey, when we did that whole basking thing, I decided I wanted X. That's what felt like overflow for me. I basked in it during this session. I basked in it for the rest of the week. And holy moly, on Tuesday, it showed up. And that's my reality now. I would love that. Maybe it doesn't even have to be Tuesday. Maybe it can be tomorrow. You bask in it for an hour and suddenly it's there. I would love to get that email. So if that happens for you, please let me know. And for those of us who don't make that quantum leap right this very moment, we're simply continuing to shift toward what it is that we're wanting, toward what it is we're creating, and we're feeling better every time we do this. Every time you notice a limiting belief or some bit of lack consciousness, and you shift that into the truth that your soul already knows, your soul already understands. Or just blow it up if you don't want to do the whole mental, the mental gymnastics that can sometimes feel like. Just blow it up or write it down and burn it, whatever feels right to you. Clear it out and think the new thought. Think the new, okay, this is possible for me. This is already happening. This has already happened. I'm just catching up. I know this is going to happen in 2 weeks. So I can look forward to it now, and it doesn't have to be 2 weeks. We always want to hold lightly when we, are expecting things to come in, though of course we can play with those, those really specific goals if that feels good to you. But, just as like an exercise, okay, this is coming within the week. Maybe there's money that you do need, by next week, or, there's an experience you really want to have, and you want that extra money to come in by that date, so you can sign up for the thing or, buy the plane tickets or whatever it is. And so you really feel into that. Okay, so I have everything I need and some more to do this thing on Tuesday. It's already done. How am I going to feel? How am I going to feel when I'm signing up for it? How am I going to feel when I'm receiving it? How am I going to feel when I'm putting $10,000 in the bank and taking another $5,000 to go to France? I'm just making things up. So, of course, insert whatever experience is right for your life. But, um, knowing that, okay, my kid's schooling is taken care of. It's just done. It's just done. How does that feel? Oh, it feels amazing. And not only that, I have enough money to go visit them whenever I want, whether they like it or not. I'm on that plane, So let's just take a moment and play with that. Feel into whatever it is you want, however overflow looks, and, whatever that experience is. Let's feel it. So, everything you want is happening. It's all in process. You are simply catching up to what you've already created. What you've created in the ether simply by desiring it is landing in your experience now, tomorrow, next week. And so your only job is to keep knowing that it's here, knowing that it's coming, knowing how it's going to feel when it fully lands. And then knowing how exciting it's going to be to ask yourself, all right, what do I want next? What experience would I like next? Because I've created this one. So let's go to the next one and play with that, because it's all a game and it's all fun. And every sticky emotion or uncomfortable experience or feeling that shows up as I'm playing with this is simply for me to use to get what I want. It's for me to use in my best interest, for my good. Everything that happens to us is for us. Everything that happens to us is for us. And so when you really lean into that, lean into every experience, every feeling, every thought, and then just choose, do I want this thought? No. Flick. Is this experience what I want? No. Okay, I'm going to lean into something new. I'm going to begin creating something new, and I'm going to know that it's coming. Know that it's coming. Is this what I want? Yes, this feels so good. Great. Okay, this is my reality now. Ooh, I'm going to enjoy that for a while. And oh, what feels good now? What do I want now? What's the next stair step? I'm going to feel into that. So, playing with overflow. Give yourself the space and the room and the gift of feeling what it is you want, feeling that overflow as if it's already here, knowing that it's coming, knowing that you don't have to know how it's coming. That's not your job. Your job is to know that it is, trust that it is, feel that it is, see in your mind's eye that it is, and then know that your higher self, your guides, the universe, God, they're all conspiring to reform your life to fit what you've created. Fit what you've created, bring everything into line so that what you want appears. And yes, you may work hard for it. Yes, it may show up out of the blue, but you will be led, you will be shown, you will simply have to take the next step that feels good, that sounds fun. And if a step shows up that doesn't feel good or doesn't sound fun, just sort of ask yourself, okay, is there another way that I can do this? Is there another way that I can create this for myself? Another way that I could receive this, a way that feels better to me? Because you're simply taking all of the feedback from your experience, the feedback of your feelings and your thoughts and what's showing up in your reality, and saying, okay, is this what I choose? Yes? Great. Let's keep doing that. No? Okay, let's shift a bit. Let's shift and look at this as, okay, this is actually the next step to getting what I want. Doesn't look the way I wanted it to, but that's okay. I know I simply have to step over it, and what I want is coming. It's going to show up. So that was a little longer than I expected. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please play with that over the next week until the next healing comes through. And know that I love you, the universe loves you, everything is conspiring in your favor, and just keep choosing what you want. Keep putting your attention on what you want. Hooray! All right, lots of love to you and see you soon.